116.
What's up, Vin? Hey.
What's going on?
How you doing?
All right. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
November 12th. What were you doing
Can
last
you believe
Tuesday?
that? A couple weeks away from Thanksgiving already? Can you believe that?
What were you doing last Tuesday, Mike?
What?
What were you doing last Tuesday?
I don't remember, Vinny.
Did you have CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC all up on
Oh,
your
for the
TVs?
election?
Watching all the numbers roll in?
Yeah, I just remember I did not sleep much, and it really screwed me up the rest of the week, just without sleep.
Oh, man, it was a long night last Tuesday. But
It sure was.
But we're here now, and hello KKFI, Kansas City.
Up,
You guys
KC?
are now 9-0, I think, right? 9-0, the Chiefs.
They always find a way to win.
Ooh, my God. And of course, Vin and Mike, podcast.com. Buy a shirt, buy a sticker, buy a hat, buy something. Donate. Stay. It's very nice to see in Turntable, our magnet still on the wall there, the 100th episode. Very nice. So I think people should go to 34-36 West 32nd Street up to the 5th floor. Ask for Victor. If he's not there, doesn't matter. Just say you're a friend of Vin and Mike, and they'll take care of you. I know they will.
They will.
So, but it's all good. Where do you want to start, Mike? There's a lot. All right, I'll give you.
You know what? You always give me the honor. I'm gonna give you the honor tonight.
Okay, I'll start
it out tonight.
All right, I'll start with Aaron Rodgers, the bum that he is. How about that?
You just know how to put the dagger in. I'm like, I give you the honor. Of course, you got to talk about the Jets.
What else? What else? I don't want to. We'll get to Juan Soto in a little bit. We'll get to Pete Alonso. We'll get to why Deion Sanders will be the next head coach of the Raiders. All that stuff.
Yeah,
we'll get to all that. But I don't know. Aaron Rodgers, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. 2 for 1. Not something that he's noted for. He's usually more of a 30 touchdown, 3 interception kind of quarterback. They brought in Devontae Adams. They have Garrett Wilson. They have Breece Hall. They changed the offensive coordinator. They changed the head coach. They did all this stuff. I had much optimism for this team with their schedule before their bye week, and here they are at 3-7.
Yep.
And all the teams ahead of them in the draft all need quarterbacks, so they're not even going to be able to draft the quarterback at this point. But that being said, there's still optimism that they can win 7 in a row.
Stop it. Just stop it before I throw something through this computer because you talk nonsense.
Well, if they beat the Colts, you're gonna start feeling a little bit better about yourself.
Listen, let's just play. Last week, the Jets beat the Texans, and we had the same conversation. Oh, Jets have some momentum. It's the Jets. And listen, I want them to win more than anybody, but there's no consistency, and there's no leadership. These guys are on the field. Looks like everyone's just like in a daze. Like no one's really taking control. What happened to this top 5 defense? Arizona went through them. It was embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Were you upset about the tackling? I was upset about the tackling.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't just Sauce Gardner though on that one play.
No. It was everybody.
The people are throwing all the blame at him. It's tackling. It's just long gains. It's people being wide open. It is all the above. And we just go back, right? It's like the curse of Robert Saleh. At that time, the Jets were 2-3. They made the bold move to fire him. They were 1 game behind Buffalo at that point. What has happened since Sal has been fired? I'll tell you one thing: the defense has not been good. It's been worse. And there's just no chemistry. And you could put the blame game on many people, but a team wins a team win, a team losses a team loss. Has Aaron Rodgers done anything this year to make me think that he's the Aaron Rodgers of old, that he's going to lead this team? No. So where are they? They're back to square one. And that's it. I'm not seeing anything that gives me any evidence, Vinny, that they could make a substantial run, right? That they could somehow win out, right? Because if they were going to do that, you're not going to get blown out. And you even said before the game you like the Jets as well as far as the running game, what they could offer, and they did nothing. So how can I think, and how can we think that anything else from a positive is going to happen? I mean, I want to be. And what's crazy is when people talk to me about the Jets, I say the same thing, that they have so many the roster's loaded. You said it before. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, even like Tyler Conklin, who's not getting involved at all, but he's a good player. Braylon Allen, right? Defense, you got DJ Reed, right? Where's he been, right? Quincy Williams. I mean, come on. I mean, Tony Adams. Sure. I mean, you have. It's very frustrating, right? Because they do have the players, and it's just they're not being utilized right. There's no chemistry. There's no consistency. And you just got your ass kicked by the Cardinals. So.
Yeah. I will tell you. His last year in Green Bay. And is your YouTube on, by the way? Because I'm getting feedback.
Let me take it off. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Let me start over.
Go ahead.
Last year in Green Bay, he was 8-9 with 26 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. This year, he's 3-7 with 15 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. That means in his last 27 games, he's 11-16 and 41-19, right? Barely over 2-1 touchdowns to interceptions, and 5 games under 500, losing record. He's 41 years old. I think it's time that the New York Jets should realize this is not the Aaron Rodgers that was 13-3 for 3 consecutive seasons. His last, before he went 8-9, he's just a shell of what he used to be. Father Time has caught up with him, and that's really what it comes down to. Now, he's still under contract next year.
Yeah, 45. Don't they have a 45 million cap or something?
So they got a decision to make here. I don't know what they're gonna do, but if he doesn't retire and he still wants to play, they're gonna have to make a decision. It's at the point now that he's an aged, non-impactful quarterback, right? And let's see, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's won a Super Bowl. He's won multiple MVPs. We know all that. But eventually, Father Time catches up with you. It even caught up with Tom Brady that last year. We could see that he slowed down a little bit. As much as he won the Super Bowl a few years before that and all that. It's caught up with him as well. It just Rodgers, the Achilles injury, and just you could just see it. He just like nothing was clicking in Arizona. Like that first half, the week before with Houston, it looked like they had some momentum. He didn't look good. The second half, he caught fire. Looked like maybe he had some momentum going this game. I thought this was a good matchup for them. I didn't really like Arizona's run defense. I don't think they took advantage of that at all. And then their defense, like Kyler Murray, basically do whatever he wanted. I think he only had 2 incomplete passes the whole game. So they're just at the point now where I think you're going to have to make a real hard decision and reset and maybe be bad, like really bad next year, and then go from there.
I was just going to say that you know what's going to happen this year. They'll win 6 or 7 games and be in that. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, they're not going to get a quarterback. They're not going to get one of the top 3 quarterbacks. I mean, they're just not going to. They're not going to be bad enough. They're not going to be as bad as the Giants. They're not going to be as bad as the Raiders. They're not going to be as bad as Cleveland. They're not going to be as bad as Jacksonville. I can go, through the list of the teams. They're not going to be as bad as even Tennessee, right? They're just not. They're not going to be as bad as those teams. As bad as they're playing, they're not as bad as those teams. And those teams are going to continue to lose games. And the Jets are going to figure out a way to win. Probably beat Indianapolis and Joe Flacco this week, right? And really like piss everybody off, and maybe go on a little run into the bye week and be 5-7 and get everyone excited again, and then come out of the bye and get stomped, right? Like something like stupid like that. So they'll end up being 7-10, like you said, 6-11, 7-10, middle of the road.
Yeah.
Have to draft an offensive lineman or a defensive end, or something that they don't want to do, or they trade up and into the top and give up a ton of draft picks because they're sold on Shador Sanders or Quinn Ewers or Bach from Georgia. It's one of these guys. Those are the top 3 guys. Unless there's somebody else out there that we don't know. There always is, right? So I don't know. It's to me, as a non-Jets fan, just looking at it, it's frustrating just watching it. I wanted to see this team compete, especially in a New York City local team, exciting. Go out, beat the Bills, beat the Chiefs, kind of thing. Get excited around here. Who knows if they would have won a Super Bowl if they had that momentum and all that, but at least give some excitement, get to the playoffs, win a playoff game, right? All that stuff, and it's like gone, right? Like they took like all the life out of like New York. The Giants, the Giants are what they are.
That's what I'm saying. With no disrespect to the Giants, people thought at the beginning of the season they would win 4 or 5 games, right? But the Jets, on the other hand, were expected to go into the playoffs and deep into the playoffs, for that matter, right?
Yeah. We talked about it. We thought Buffalo was a little down because of the changes they made, and give them a lot of credit. They're playing much better than we thought they were. But everybody else is right where we thought they would. The Dolphins, barely hanging on, right? The Patriots rebuilding. It's exactly what we thought the AFC East would be, except what the Jets are, and a little bit better than Buffalo is. But at this point, it's just frustrating. To me, it's frustrating because I think everybody, if you look at all the other teams, right? Like Baltimore's where they're supposed to be. Chiefs are where they're supposed to be. Houston's where they're supposed to be, right? You were supposed to be part of that group, and you're just not.
No.
So it's like I said, it's aggravating from a non-fan perspective. Especially my team just sucks. I'm really lucky if we compete in another game, might as well win another game. So, but that's okay. Maybe we'll finally get a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, we shall see. Go Raiders.
But I don't know. Daniel Jones, to me, he's done.
Yeah.
Giants quarterback. Watching that game from Germany, 9:30 in the morning. Got home from the gym. Took a shower, felt good. Let's watch some Giants win this game. Carolina is one of the worst teams in football. Go, in Munich. Bryce Young, still trying to figure it out. I'm like, good matchup. Panthers got like one of the worst defenses. I think Daniel Jones could run against them, make some plays, and freaking nothing. I mean, like 0. It was terrible. Like you said, that first half was unwatchable. The game got a little exciting, at least in the fourth quarter.
It did.
But
and then that fumble at the end, which just sums it all up.
Oh, that poor kid. He's a pretty good back, but
he is. He felt bad, but again, that's not. It's the whole team. It's not him.
The whole overtime thing. That's the whole team. Eddie Pinheiro winning the game. Nobody even knows who he is. Get Eddie Pinero kicking field goals. Bryce Young barely doing anything, but what's his name? Chuba Hubbard ran. But I think he ran for 150 something yards. I mean, the Giants defense is god awful. I know when Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau is there, they'll have a good pass rush and a little bit better, but their run defense, oh my God, stop somebody. Chuba Hubbard, the Panthers.
He had 153 yards.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, he's a good young back, but still, it's the Panthers. Come on. Holy cow. Yeah, the Giants really, Daniel Jones, I think that if he's got a $23 million insurance guaranteed policy for next year if he gets hurt, there's no reason for the Giants to play him anymore. At this point, you just throw him on the bench, let Drew Lock finish out the year, and then release him next year and just start over. They'll be in a position to draft a good quarterback, and that's it. And, if they want to get rid of Dable, go ahead. Bring Dion in there. I expect him to be the Raiders coach because I expect the Raiders to draft Shedeur Sanders and hire Dion, and let's go.
So my question to you is next year, going back to the Jets.
Yeah.
What are the chances Aaron Rodgers takes a snap next year?
Well, that's a good question. I think he retires. I don't see him being 5-12 or 6-11, whatever double-digit losses you want to give him, and for him at 42 years old to come back to the same thing, new head coach, like it becomes a whole thing.
He probably doesn't want that at this stage.
He's leaving a lot of money on the table, but at the same time, he's made more than enough money, right? I think he retires. I think that's it. Unless the Jets could trade him somewhere and somebody thinks they have a shot of with an Aaron Rodgers to win it.
Very, very unlikely. I think it's either he retires or he stays.
No, I think he retires. I think the conversation Woody Johnson has with him at the end of the year is, I think you should go sign a one-day deal with the Packers and retire.
What a bust.
Yeah. Listen, Favre, when he came, wasn't a bust, right? And he actually he did some stuff and ended up actually leading Minnesota to the NFC Championship the year after. But at least Favre came in and you felt a little bit of momentum when he was there. But besides that, I don't know. Mark Sanchez. Who else you had? Sam Darnold. Zach.
And let's just talk about that for a second. I think I sent it to you and Dan. The fact that Zach Wilson, to this point, has more wins just tells you everything.
Yeah, well, and again, I think they made a big mistake firing Robert Saleh. I don't know what kind of momentum they thought they were going to get out of doing that. You fire a coach in season, you try to get that momentum, right? And try to get them to get going. What was Robert Saleh doing wrong? Now, again, I'm not saying he was the best head coach. Probably would have got fired after the season anyway. But what was he doing so bad that you had to fire him after 5 games?
You know what? He was trying, I don't think he was that involved, but he was involved with the offensive coordinator and Hackett and making comments. And they didn't. It's just so, to me, and even Aaron Rodgers denies it, but the timing of it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And
they got Devontae Adams. They don't.
And what did that do? Yeah.
To me, they don't look like they're on the same page like they used to.
It's just like a passing of time. Like it's just not the same anymore.
It's just frustrating. Like I said, it's very frustrating. And I'm not even a Jets fan, and it's frustrating. So I can imagine how you feel.
Yeah, listen, when I think out of any year going into the season, Vinny, I've never been so optimistic. I thought to myself, Joe Douglas did an amazing job building this team, made some great moves, built the offensive line, added some defense. Aaron Rodgers comes back healthy. You have all the names that you need. And it wasn't all the analysts and everybody, too. They're just like, this Jets team is for real. Everything's there.
Yeah.
But the problem is they're out there, and it's like just a bunch of people who are lost. Everyone looks lost.
I'm disappointed in the way they used Breece Hall. I thought
not been a factor.
I really thought he had Christian McCaffrey kind of ability and numbers that were going to come out of it.
Sorry, I just want to say one thing. Look where people picked Breece Hall in the draft, in the fantasy draft.
I saw him pick number 1 overall in some drafts ahead of McCaffrey.
So just think about that. And
I know there was high hopes for him from non-Jet fans. He didn't go. I didn't see him go lower than 3 in any fantasy draft that I was in. So they had very high hopes for him. Very high hopes. But I don't know. I just felt like they haven't used him right all season. I don't like the way, that offense ran with Hackett. Then they finally started using him a little bit. But again, I just don't think they use him enough, and they don't use him the right way. I look at the Chargers. The Chargers will run the ball until they can't run the ball, right? And they got Justin Herbert, who's a above average quarterback, if not very good, right? Depending on what you feel. But he's a guy that can make plays, right? With his legs, with his arm. But they run the ball with Dobbins and Edwards, and they just run and run and run because Jim Harbaugh has that plan. And that's the difference. The Jets don't have an identity. Are they a team that's going to throw the ball 40 times a game, or are they a team that's going to run the ball 40 times a game? You have to, come up with an identity and just stick with it, Like what makes the Chiefs so great? Mahomes runs the team, right? As Andy Reid still has confidence in his running game and everything, but how many times do they just give the ball to Mahomes, on a 3rd and 2 with 3 minutes to go, where every other team will try to run it to get, first down and run the clock out, and they'll let Mahomes pass it, right? There's no identity for the Jets, right? Is it Aaron Rodgers' team? Is it Breece Hall's team? Like, whose team is it? And I don't think it's anyone's team.
That's a great point.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. My mic is not muting. Why isn't that muting?
That's all right. People heard your nice sneeze. It's good luck.
Is it working? I don't even know if my mic's on. I don't know if this is working. I think I'm talking into nothing. Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right.
All right. I had enough of talking about the Jets
and please.
The Giants and the NFL. I'm sick of it. Especially Codman beat me by 2 points in fantasy because of freaking what's the Robinson kid on the Rams. He had him playing. DeMarcus, 1 catch for 20 yards, 3 points. I mean, are you kidding me? Tired of it.
Where are you in the standings right now?
Tired of all you guys. I think I'm 7th.
All right.
So I'm still in there. Still in the playoffs. Your team, forget it. You're just like,
Yeah, I'm fading quick with my injuries.
Dak Prescott is your quarterback, and then Matt Stafford can't freaking score a touchdown against Miami at home.
No, it's over.
With Puka Nacua and Cup. Makes no sense.
It's over. It's a good run.
Your team's ridiculous. Get a new coach.
I'm gonna fire myself.
All right, talking about firing and hiring and all this stuff. So let's talk about Juan Soto. So, Aaron Boone said, "Don't worry, I'm going with Hal out to California. I'm going to be part of the team that's going to pitch Juan Soto." Hopefully Juan Soto likes Aaron Boone. Hopefully that's a good thing. I would be like, yeah, we don't need you here.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Mike? You think the
Well, I
Yankees,
know that
have any shot?
I don't think there's going to be shock if he leaves. I think the Blue Jays have the first meeting with him, and then the Red Sox, and then the Mets, and the Yankees. That's who it's between. So the sweepstakes is heating up. I don't think there's any loyalty. I look at body language, right? And after that, we're not going to discuss the game because it made us sick, but he was the last one on that dugout. He was probably thinking about his future and what he really wants to do, but nothing has really told me, like someone like a Derek Jeter, let's say, that just wants to be a Yankee for it. I haven't seen that, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves. I don't think there's anything that you agree. Like I just don't feel that.
I mean, the guy that was only there 1 year, right? 1 year. So what kind of loyalty, does he have to the team? Now, was he a good teammate? Absolutely. I'm not going to say that. Him and Judge seemed like they got along. He seemed to get along with everybody. You could see, how the camaraderie in the dugout and how they reacted and all that stuff. And listen, guy's 26 years old. This is going to be his one shot. This is it. It's going to be 12 to 14-year contract, and it's going to be 45 to 55 million, maybe 60 million. I don't know. Can he walk away with a 14-year, $840 million deal? I mean, who the hell knows? Would you? Again, it's like we always say, right? If Google and Microsoft and Oracle and all these companies, came for you for what you do, and one company said, "Hey, we're gonna give you $1 million in RSUs," you're gonna be like, "See ya," right? I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to what's best for him, and I think if the Yankees are at the same offer as everybody else, I think he'll re-sign with the Yankees because he knows playing with Aaron Judge and then playing in New York that it's just different, right? So, but right across the city there, in the other borough, Mets might say, "Hey, you can come here and play with Lindor, and you're still in New York," right?
Yep.
I think it's going to ultimately come down to will he let the Yankees get the final say? That's the first thing. Will Boris let the Yankees match? Will there be other discussions with Boris about his other free agents, right? I always look at that where it's like, help us here, you help me there kind of deal, especially the way Boris screwed up, Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery last year. So I don't think he wants to go down that path again, but I'm hoping the Yankees make the best pitch. I don't want to hear that, they underbid, where I think they could be in that $50 to $60 million a year range, especially that Rizzo's gone and Gleyber Torres is gone. And then you add in what Soto made last year. That number is $62 million from last year. So there's no reason for them not to be able to come in at $50 million this year and then figure out other things. If they don't get Soto, they'll have a lot of money to add a lot of stuff. I would expect them at that point to go get Blake Snell, go get us another pitcher. We could definitely use another big time starter, and then go from there. There's other guys that are out there, but I would love for this guy to be in the lineup because to me, the way he played in April is the same way he played in October. There was no pressure on him in those big moments. He owns the plate when he's up there. It feels like he owns the hitters, and that's what we hope to continue to see. So we'll see.
We shall see.
Let's go, Hal. Come on, Hal. Open up the wallet. We know if George was here, he wouldn't even be in California in his house. George would have put him up in an apartment in the city and say, "You stay here. You don't leave until we sign this contract."
Yeah.
Yes, I'm kidnapping you, but we're not going to tell people that. What do you want? You want some season tickets for the rest of your life? All right. You want a suite? You want the Juan Soto right field suite?
George would have done it. He would have done it.
George would have bought him a house in Tampa too. And his parents also. Your parents could stay with me. Your mom and dad are staying
with me.
They're going to stay with me in Tampa, and I'm going to buy them a boat right next to my boat. Don't worry. So I don't know. It's different. Definitely a different Yankee feel over the last 15 years since George really hasn't been around. When I was younger, I think we talked about how we fired Billy Martin 4 times. And I'm pretty sure if they were both alive today, they'd be best friends. That's just the way George was and the way Billy was. So
they did have that love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
But that's so unheard of. That
no, you'll never see it now.
How does it? I don't know.
Think about any sport. Like, do you see Woody Johnson bringing Robert Saleh back next year? Right? It's not happening. Yeah. But Billy Martin would get fired this year, and he would be back in April.
I can't. Other coaches that's happened to. I just can't think who were fired.
Got fired and then brought back.
Yes, I can't really think of on the top of my head. I can't.
I seriously doubt it. Like fired and brought back. Maybe someone stepped away and then decided it was a mistake and came back. But
stepped away. Yes.
Huh?
I know about that. I know.
Who?
Red Holzman is a prime example for the Knicks.
Oh, he stepped away and then came back?
He stepped away, I believe. I have to look. But then Willis Reed became the coach, and then he was just not doing the job, and then they brought him back. So
yeah, I mean, I've seen guys come back, but not. Fired and brought back.
I'll get to that. Yeah, who's been fired and rehired? He'll definitely set the record for most times.
It's not even close. It's not even close. We'll definitely have to look into that. All right. Well, look, that'll be some homework for us.
We'll do some homework. Yeah.
All right. How you feeling about the 4 and 5 Knicks?
Listen, I know you were texting all pissed off the other.
Oh, I was so angry.
But it's so early. I can't get upset. How about the Cavs, though? Hats off to them. 11-0. Oh, crazy. But yeah, listen, with Karl Anthony Towns and Bridges and just 2 main guys coming to the team, it takes a little time to gel. I fortunately was at the game where they played the Bucks, and I saw domination. But then you're right, Vinny. There has been a lot of inconsistency. They're playing the Sixers as we speak now. I'm going to watch that after. It's a pretty close game. But the funny enough is that Jalen Brunson, although he's scoring 24 a game, it's not like a 20. He's been very inconsistent too. He hasn't been great. It's early. So that's why I'm looking at these things and just saying, let the Knicks. Let them play out. Let them gel. Let's talk after 25 games, just like a lot of these teams, basketball's a long season. But like I said, that I truly feel the only thing I'll say is that I'm not happy how Tibbs coordinates things sometimes where he's not utilizing his bench. I mean, that was the thing last year when these guys got tired. You pretty much had a 7 or 8 person rotation in November. Use your bench. There's a lot of good bench players, and they should be utilized. So that's what I'll say. You know,
He doesn't trust young players. That's the first
I
thing.
think there has to be more trust and give them an opportunity. Like as I said, this guy Tyler Kolek from Marquette, he's good. Give him some time. He played 2 minutes last game. Give the guy like 10 minutes a game, right? Give these other guys a little time to sit on the bench and just take a breather, right? So
Yeah, I mean, listen. I was listening today, and one of the things that was brought up is the Knicks. Are they worn out in the fourth quarter because they're playing too many minutes already? I don't know. It's possible. I mean, 7-man rotation in November is not great.
I think you may have listened to us because I'm looking at the stats so far. It's only quarter, but Matt Ryan, who's new to the team, he's already played 7 minutes. Cameron Payne's already played 5 minutes. Jericho Sims 4 minutes. Okay.
So at least they're getting out there.
They're getting out there. Maybe that was talked about because they need more balance for sure.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can't be playing guys 38 to 40 minutes in November.
It's not a playoff.
We need them for April, May, and June.
Yeah.
I mean, I think once Achua's back, once Mitchell Robinson's back, which is a couple of months still, I think the team there'll be more rotation. I think Towns and Brunson will figure it out together. Bridges has got to get more consistent. They got to play a little bit better defense. Like, I'm tired of the way they just let these teams run up and down the court sometimes. It's got to get better. There's more consistency. They have, listen, like you said, Mike, when you went to the Bucks game, they got a lot of pieces, right? They got a lot. And I just want to see that more consistency. Can we win, like 3 or 4 games in a row? I mean, can we get a little bit of run here? Do we got to already trade somebody else for OG?
No.
Yeah. Do we got to bring another OG in when we went on like a 18-2 run or something that time when they traded for him? No. We got to find somebody to spark this team. I know it's very early, but I just want a little more consistency. I don't want to be, talking in episode, 125, 130, wherever we're at, and saying the Knicks are 30-30.
No, we don't want that.
So, but I tell you, I know you at first you didn't think too much of the Towns trade, then you reassessed it and thought it was a good trade. And you see that guy out there, you can see why.
Yeah, they need the hype too. I mean, they need the. It was crazy. Just like he dominated Giannis, he did.
That guy, let me tell you, he stays healthy. They continue to, get better. He's a 25-10 guy easy. He's a 25-10 guy, especially with Brunson and Bridges and Hart and OG.
Man, Hart is amazing, man. Like he is just after every rebound. Like he just goes after every
1,000%. He's 6'4".
If that, yeah, I think he's a little taller than Brunson, maybe 6'4" or 6'5".
He plays the 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's 6'4".
Yeah, he's amazing. His effort is just incredible.
Yeah.
And funny. He's a funny guy.
All right. So here's I'm going to write it down. I know you had the Lions. Who was the other team you had in the AFC? Remember? Who are the Lions going to play? Was it the Ravens?
The Ravens. Yep.
All right.
And I'm going to stick to that.
And I said Chiefs and Eagles because I went with the winners of the Thursday and Friday night game, if you remember, when the season started.
I remember.
Right? So Lions, Ravens, we got to stick with it. And Chiefs and Eagles. I still think that 2 of those 4 teams will be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It might be Ravens, Eagles. It might be Chiefs, Lions. It might be we might be right, we might be wrong, but I think it's going to be something like that, right?
Yeah. Listen, I think Kansas City. I know they're 9-0, but I think they're the most overrated 9-0. I really do.
They're the two-time defending Super Bowl champion. We talk about them every year, and then Mahomes goes out and crushes every
Right,
thought.
and that's what's going to be my comment to finish is that you can't count them out.
Never. They got a big game this weekend. Bills in Buffalo. If Buffalo wants to be anything this year, they have to win that game.
Yeah.
Because if you let the Chiefs win that game, that's the third loss for the Bills. I think the Ravens have 2 losses, which one of those is to the Chiefs. The AFC is essentially clinched for the Chiefs. They're essentially the number 1 seed again. Like that. Bills have to win that game.
Yes, they do.
They have to win for the salvation of the AFC. And your Lions are 8-1.
Yeah,
right?
They're well coached.
Bad loss to Tampa, right, early in the year.
Yep, that was a bad one. That was
it. They've cruised since then.
Yeah.
They won this week after 5 interceptions.
Isn't that crazy?
So that would be, Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator there. I wouldn't mind him being the head coach of the Raiders. And you wouldn't mind him coming to Jets either. Maybe Aaron Glenn. Maybe get Aaron Glenn.
I told you who they're getting.
Former Jet, Aaron Glenn.
Mike McCarthy, welcome to New York.
Mike McCarthy, come back.
Rex Ryan, come back. Rex Ryan.
He's promoting himself to come back.
I wouldn't mind that, actually.
Rex?
No, I wouldn't. I liked Rex. I know it was like people who liked him, or there was no middle. I liked Rex.
He hasn't. His coaching carousel's gone by. He hasn't coached.
Yeah, good pride with the team. He's always he's motivational.
Yeah.
And you know what? I truly think that this is my last comment about the Jets because I'm going to throw up. But whenever he was, I feel like what's going on with them right now with just nobody taking accountability, the lack of leadership. If Rex were there, I don't think that would be happening. I think that you would see more like unity in the team. I do. And whether or not they would be, in the playoffs, I can't tell you, but they would be playing better than they are. I could tell you that.
That's why you got to get Mike Vrabel next year. Mike Vrabel, Jets head coach, another defensive mind. You guys need an offensive young guru, someone like Adam Gase.
Okay. That worked out well.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
Ben McAdoo, remember Ben McAdoo for the Giants when he wore the suit that was twice the size of him?
It was like that band. What's
and Adam Gase with all his gyrations and everything. Let me tell you, those opening press conferences, automatically you could have said these coaches are not going to be here in 2 years.
I remember McAdoo in that suit.
I remember talking to my brother, and I go, the one thing that head coaches need is attention to detail, right? They have to be very detail orientated. This guy's wearing a suit that doesn't even fit him. How do you think he's going to run a team with 53 players on top of all these coaches, all the media, all the attention, and he can't even get the suit right? And I don't want to hear, oh, it's my lucky suit. Well, you know what? Get your lucky suit fucking hemmed. Oh, excuse my language there. But get it hemmed.
You know who wears a good suit? The guy to my left wears it well. Oh, yeah.
I should start coming on the show in my suit. Did you ever get aggravated when the head coaches, not the old-time head coaches, but the newer head coaches, were wearing suits on the sideline? Like Jack Del Rio and like Mike Nolan, when those guys went into like that suit phase, did it aggravate you as a
It didn't
fan?
really get to me.
It aggravated me. Stop acting like you think you got to wear.
I gotta say, there's one coach, college basketball, and he coached pro at one time, but Rick Pitino always will, dress with a suit, has his coaching staff dress with a suit, and a lot of these coaches, they'll wear the sweatsuit outfits. It's different, but Rick Pitino has stuck to his roots there with the suits.
Well, remember Pat Riley? That was his thing.
That was his thing.
Right? That was his thing.
Dress for success. Yeah.
Even John Thompson in Georgetown, remember? Always came out.
Chuck Daly always dressed well.
Yeah. The old school NFL coaches like Landry and Lombardi, always fully dressed, ready to go.
Yeah.
That changed over time, but I think that
Landry was so old. Landry was so old school.
Oh,
and he coached for years.
Same way. But he invented the 3-4 defense. Teams weren't running a 3-4. He ran the old 3-4, mixed it up. Just think the Giants' offensive coordinator was Vince Lombardi in 1957, and their defensive coordinator was Tom Landry.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
Wonder why they won the 1957 championship.
Yeah.
Just on their assistants alone.
That's why you gotta love baseball. They just have the uniforms of managers, like the players.
Now they don't even wear their jerseys anymore. They wear the windbreaker.
But I'm saying managers never wore suits. They were always in no.
The old guys did, like Connie Mack did.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, that's like the 20s, and I don't think anyone's alive that saw Connie Mack manage. Yeah. And if they are alive, they're in a nursing home, telling war stories. There was a lady on TV the other day. She was 109.
So what was her secret for living so long?
109th birthday. I don't know. I just think it's nice to see that she was still able to understand what's going on and enjoying herself at 109.
That's pretty amazing.
I'm not even think about that. She's 109. I'm not even halfway there.
You didn't even start your life yet.
Think about that. That's nuts. You're 109. Let's see. That's you were born in 1915. So you were in your 20s during World War II.
They've seen it all.
Hey, holy cow! There was
You know what? When they were, huh?
Think about it. There was no penicillin.
I don't think when she was born there was a car either. I don't think cars were invented, right? The cars weren't
probably not mass production.
Oh.
Yeah. She survived the Spanish flu and COVID.
Yeah, 1918. Whoa. Wow, that's really. Just think about how times it's.
Yeah.
I even look now, right? And technology, let's say when the internet came out, right? Early to mid 90s, right?
Yeah.
It took a lot of time to really establish that and people to get used to it, right?
Yeah.
And now technology is moving at this pace that's just like it's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, just having to learn things, and this whole AI thing's unbelievable. And Vinny told me something. When you look up Vin and Mike under the AI umbrella, they write a really nice thing about us. So they just take. It's really cool, actually. So check it out. But it's just incredible. Now when you do Google searches, it's AI. AI just has a search. It's incredible. It really is.
Yeah. Google. I forget Gemini. the Gemini, and you got Chat GBT. It's even like for analytics, even right, like how teams are
Yeah.
built. Teams are built on AI now, right? Like the AI will give them all the, this is the best guy to have play first base. This is like the best guy to play quarterback. This is the best guy to be your point guard. This is what you should be paying them based on the output and all this stuff. It's just a whole algorithm of like everything, right? And it's not even like the super smart people that need to do it anymore. Like me and you can do it, right? We just who know nothing about drafting players or signing free agents or any of that. We can just put all this information in Chat GBT and it'll generate a whole team for us and tell us exactly like what to do.
But it just makes you think, like, what's it going to be like in 20 years from now? Like, can't even imagine.
I remember when my dad first got his first fax machine, like how happy he was. And he's like, eventually mail will go away because you can just fax you your stuff. Now, if you only knew like email and search engines and all this stuff, I don't think he would even understand what's going on.
I remember when my mom first got a cell phone, she started texting. It was just like a very big deal.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Remember when texting cost like $3?
Yeah.
It's like I can't text; it's too expensive.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's funny.
Yeah. Knicks are up 54-50 at halftime.
All right. That's a good output. Paul George is playing again, right? For the Sixers. I think he's back.
Yes, and making a big impact. 17 points at halftime.
Yeah. He's a good player.
Knicks are getting more. They got the balanced shooting tonight. 12 from Cat, 11 from only 4 from Brunson, 11 from OG, 6 from Bridges, 7 Hart, Miles McBride 9, Jericho 2.
The Deuce with 9.
Yeah, he's fun to watch.
If he could catch fire with the other guys, that's when they're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah,
they need something from the bench.
Yeah.
I don't know. This Cavs, man, 12-0. Can they sustain a 60-win season? Can they go 60-22?
I don't know.
It's a long season. But they have a lot, Garland and Donovan Mitchell and Mobley and Allen, and they got players there. Just think we were very close to getting Donovan Mitchell.
I know. Remember, that was what we were talking about. And then we got Brunson. We never really knocked it, but we wanted Donovan Mitchell at that time.
We both said, let's see what he is away from Luka,
Yeah.
And he's a lot more than I thought he'd be. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Just remember that Aaron Rodgers is 11-16 in his last 27 games.
Thank you for that great stat.
Right. Just like Steve sent us today, the ground out average of Pete Alonso.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve.
8,000% or something. What was it? Let me see. Steve said Alonso had the highest ground ball rate of his career, 42%, while his strikeout percentage, 24.8, was his highest since 2020, marking the second straight season in which that number has risen. Alonso's defense has been consistently poor throughout his career, but his -9 outs above average last season was his worst in 6 big league seasons. So Steve is saying he's not touching Alonso with a 10-foot pole, which means he'll be the Yankees opening day first baseman.
Yeah, watch.
That's some interesting numbers there. And if Steve has got those numbers, those GMs and these scouts and all these guys have them.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we know what Alonso is. He can DH and he can hit home runs. The question is how long and how much money do you want to pay for him to do that? Because I'll be happy to give him a 3-year, $75 million deal, and he can DH.
Why not?
Not that there's room on the Yankees to DH, but that's besides the point. All right. Let's hope next week, sometime when we come on, we can say Juan Soto has re-signed with the New York Yankees. The Jets have won their 4th game, and the Raiders continue to lose. And Mike Tyson is fighting Friday.
Any thoughts on that one real quick before any thoughts?
So it's I read the rules. It's 8 rounds, 2-minute rounds. It's a sanctioned fight, so knockouts can happen. The gloves are 14 ounce, so they're a little big. I think if Mike catches them in the first round or two, it'll be over for Jake Paul, because I still want to get punched by Mike Tyson, even though he's 58. But if Paul can keep him away and just wear on him, by round 3, Mike will be tired, and he'll be lucky if he lasts the 8 rounds. So that's
your prediction.
My prediction will be Mike Tyson 2nd round knockout.
Wow!
I think he catches him with a monster left hook right to that jaw, that big jaw of Jake Paul's.
All right,
knock him right down. Yeah, it's a lose for Jake Paul. You realize that?
Yeah,
he gets knocked out by a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. Everyone's going to call him like a loser. And if he beats Mike Tyson over 8 rounds, everyone's going to call him a loser for beating up a 58-year-old man.
It's like in Rocky V when Rocky had to fight Tommy Gunn.
Or what was it, Rocky Balboa when he fought Antonio Tarver?
Yeah.
At like 70. We can't do traditional training. You got arthritis here and arthritis there. Remember?
Yeah.
And then he broke his hand on Rocky's head or something.
I don't know.
For one hand, and Rocky. 60-year-old Rocky Balboa. Oh my God. That's what we got to deal with. All right. You got any last minute things? Anything?
Last minute things. I think we covered everything. I like your comment about the Jets winning their 4th game. Very optimistic. Go Knicks. And as you said, hope next week we could say that Soto signed with the Yankees. It's a done deal.
Yeah, that's what I hope for. All right.
Until next time.
Have a good week. I'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye.
Bye. Oh, wait, everyone. Our picks will be in Sunday morning. Check them out. Instagram.
Goodbye.
Bye.